I'm ready for the quick question.
All right, well, that's cool because you put 2 of them in there.
I'm ready for the quick questions.
All right, what do you do with Chris Ivory and Karlos Williams?
Chris Ivory, honestly, that
had to be a good sign last night.
Absolutely.
Good run defense. Not to mention, sorry for himself, Zach Stacy broke his ankle last night. He was the primary backup between the tackles for Chris Ivory.
Currently, because Bilal Powell has been out. Bilal Powell looks to be back next week.
That's what we're expecting. He's got 10 more days off.
Stephen Ridley got a couple carries and looked terrible.
Yeah. Everything I had read in practice about Ridley was that he just didn't seem like he had quickness back yet.
But I expect Powell to come back to his workload that he was getting earlier in the year, which is he's really getting all the passing downs. He's getting a good bit of touches, just carries on the ground. So he's going to eat into Chris Ivory's workload. If there's any running back, and I wrote about this on Fantasy Pros, if there's any running back to sell, I would personally sell Chris Ivory high at this point.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. I don't know. I mean, when Powell was there and Ivory was getting 29 carries, 20 carries, I agree with the kind of his floor lowers with Powell because Powell would be in there on games where they're behind in game flow or third downs, like you said. But he's a pretty stable back. I don't know if I'd sell him, but I don't know if I'd expect him to be a top 5 guy either.
Yeah, I think tempering expectations. But he looked great last night. He really did. He didn't get in the end zone,
yeah, 5
which is
carry.
what we were expecting. But his runs were great. His offensive line wasn't always great. There were a couple plays where it didn't look like he had anywhere to go, and he burst through for 9. He caught that little dump-off run and took it.
Exactly.
Well, sure. I mean, he might miss some of those, but
he ran over 5 a carry for 100 yards.
Yeah, and I'm not.
If he had failed last night and had a 4th straight game that was low yards per carry, looked bad, I would have been in full panic mode.
And now he gets 10 days of rest. So to answer your question, what do you do with Chris Ivory? To me, I say you just start him.
Yeah, but
okay.
And so Bilal Powell went out in the Miami game, and so he really was not a part of the Miami or Washington games, which were those were the monster Ivory games, right? So he's a sell candidate for me.
Sure. So what about Karlos Williams? You cannot book if only 2 players in history have gotten a touchdown.
You absolutely sell him right now.
Oh, that is the right call.
And people are, well, how can I sell a handcuff? He's scored in 6 straight games. You can probably sell him to somebody. And I heard the stat today from Mike Clay was talking about this. Like, oh, well, he's the goal line back. How many carries inside the 8-yard line does Karlos Williams have?
None.
1.
Wow.
That's
1.
crazy.
What does that mean? It means his touchdown pace is not sustainable. He's not getting goal line work. He's scoring from very far away, and he's a guy that I'm looking to sell.
You're looking to sell him even if you own Shady?
If I own Shady, no.
Okay.
I'm saying, but to the Shady McCoy owner is perfect of this high level of handcuff who's producing, and even to somebody who's not the LeSean McCoy owner, who's in running back troubles, they might see, oh man, this guy's scoring all the time. I got to get in on it.
And if you are the Shady owner, you should pay for him. You should be willing to give up a decent amount because we've seen Shady be injured through the preseason a couple of times through the season, and if he goes in as a full-time backup replacement, he's going to be great.
If there's one thing we've seen over the last 3 weeks, and I talked to somebody who wrote a question in, and they had lost like Foster, Bell, Lewis in successive weeks. If there's one thing we know, guys can go out and you're getting close to trade deadlines and you're getting towards the playoffs. Acquiring your handcuff is pretty crucial right now. I, as an Ivory owner, will be looking to probably pick up Bilal Powell next week. And I could have picked him up this week just to be ready for it, but I'm not too worried about being able to get him. But I want that insurance because I might not be able to get another guy, and I'll be rolling out either, he's not my favorite guy to roll out if Ivory was out, but at least you have somebody that's a starter, get you some baseline of points. So